Oh, it is helpful.
I was trying to lean into it. So
Planning is really about creating a series of smooth transitions. Smooth being a variable term. How smooth it can actually be depends on what else is going on in life and in the world around us. But the idea of planning is not just how does something happen instantaneously. It's more about how do I allow things to grow. It's more like farming or gardening, right? We are taking seeds of ideas, seeds of money, seeds of time, seeds of energy, and seeds of relationship, and we're planting them. And we need, as good farmers, we need to make sure that the stuff we planted in is good and fertile, but also that we give it time, and give it time to mature, give it time to do what it's supposed to do and let it grow. And so in order for us to do that, we just have to understand the fact that there are transitions that occur naturally, and for us not to force that, but to be able to anticipate that so that we can see that as a transition begins to occur, that we don't fight against it. We don't fight against that. I remember someone telling me about the frustration they had about making financial decisions with their spouse, because no matter how many different ways they went about trying to deal with that area of their life, finances, it always ended up in an argument. And it was very frustrating for everybody. Nobody was winning, and nothing was getting done. Nobody was feeling satisfied. No one was feeling secure, and everyone was wondering, how do we overcome this? Is there any way to overcome this? And so part of it is that the control that one of the spouses felt they need to keep was in the way, and the other spouse needed to feel like they were in more of that decision-making area where they could have some control, some input into that. They were getting to the point, well, it doesn't really matter what I think, you're going to do what you want to do anyway. Why do I need to say anything? You're just going to do what you want to do. And so that we were working on that together. And as we began to work on that, one thing I began to notice is that the spouse who needed control began to feel freer and more confident of being able to give some control to the other spouse. Yet when that happened, the spouse who wanted it, who actually wanted more input, all of a sudden began to push back and say, oh, no, I don't want to get involved now. I mean, you've always wanted to do it your way, and if I suggest something and it doesn't turn out to be right, then I'm going to get the blame. So no, you make the decision. They weren't ready, really, to take on what they were being offered. See, what was happening here is there's a transition. And the transition is happening on one side, and there's got to be a natural opening for that. Whatever you're giving, there needs to be a natural opening for someone willing to receive it. And so there has to be some patience on this end, and there has to be some courage, some desire to accept more responsibility on the other side. And that is just a natural process of continuing to bring it to the fore and allow people to really grow into their roles of giving up a little control and taking on a little bit more of control, giving up some responsibility, taking on some more responsibility. And that is what I'm calling a transition. Let's not fight the transitions. I think there are times where you are seeing, you're actually experiencing a transition and you're fighting it because you don't want to stop doing it the way you've been doing it. You don't want to have to start thinking about it a different way. You don't want to have to start communicating a different way. And you start fighting it because it's just a little bit more troublesome. But it's the transition that's occurring. And I want to encourage you to start looking for these trouble spots and seeing if they're really not transitions to greater cooperation, to greater opportunity, to greater success, to better relationships. That's my challenge for you today. We are very excited about offering some webinars very soon. We hope that this will be something you'll be interested in, attracted to, and really helped by. We're trying to make sure that you're using, really maximizing your best use of your time, money, and efforts, and making sure that you're creating the financial future that you're really trying to achieve. Please sign up for our newsletter to find out more. Certainly know that your information is protected, and that if you ever want to opt out, you're free to opt out. We have no concerns about that whatsoever. We want to make sure you feel completely comfortable with what you receive from us.